Hey everybody, this is Thunder in the Spirit of Geronimo and Crazy Horse coming to you from the Sandy Valley area, Sundowner Ranch. Well, I just wanted to comment a little bit on, I have been kind of watching geopolitical things in between my chores and my agenda here in Sandy Valley. And taking note especially of the Syrian situation, which seems to be never ending. We have a situation now where a wild card could come into play. And that's the situation in life, really, when you think about it. I mean, things could be stable one minute, and the next minute you get that wild card that can change the whole complexion of the situation in both your personal lives and in the geopolitical arena, or the arena of the massive chess game of the superpowers or whatever. But a wild card could appear in the situation that we see in Syria, and that wild card could either be Saudi Arabia or Turkey, the way I see it. And that's just the take right now. Now we know that a ceasefire went into effect in Syria, which was basically orchestrated or engineered by the U.S. For what reasons remain to be seen, but Secretary of State, or is it Defense, or I guess it's State, Kerry, making comments like, well, if this ceasefire, this orchestrated ceasefire by the U.S. fails, then we can always petition off Syria. Hello? That's just about the craziest thing I've ever heard, and shows me that they have no faith in their own ceasefire or truce agreement. In fact, this whole thing could make matters much, much worse, this ceasefire. And of course, Russia's playing along with it as best they can in a show of good faith so that nobody can point the finger at them, which probably will happen anyway. Already, Turkey is shelling Kurdish factions in Syria and using ISIL to do it. And already Russia has asked for clarification as to what's going on, because this was done after the ceasefire. Remember, Turkey is the same country under Erdogan, the maniac, that shot down a Russian aircraft and heightened and increased tensions and anxiety in that whole arena. And that right there was just about as close to out and out nuclear warfare that I want to come. But this situation is not mellowing out or chilling out in any way, shape, or form, because Russia has warships with nuclear-tipped missiles in the area, and people are talking about limited nuclear warfare. How insane is that? How insane is that? And I'm looking at this and saying to myself, nothing is really changed here. It's only gotten worse. since I've been out here in the desert. Kind of feels good to be out here in the desert, but on the one hand, but on the other hand, and if you see the video darkening slightly, it's because the sun's going down here. So, and I'm enjoying that. The mountains are turning all kinds of different shades and different purples and grays, and the chaparral, the acres of chaparral are turning a darker green, because I'm sitting here looking out the door as I'm doing this video. And when you see stuff like this, when you see the majesty of the surrounding area here, it kind of puts everything into perspective. Is that all this stuff that's going on is much ado about nothing. Much ado about nothing. Power plays are exhibited daily in a attempt to have complete control all the time. It happens in people's lives. It happens in relationships. It happens in familial situations. I even experience it. So this is something that it's always a wild card, and it's always something that could happen, and you just have to, if you're a good poker player, you will know that wild card could appear anytime, and so you have to be ready for it. The wild card of life, you know. It's a tried and proven fact that this happens, you know. But getting back to this geopolitical situation, seems to be coinciding with the financial situation in America and in the West, and around the world for that matter. And you got the major banks now in Europe. I think it's Deutsche Bank is about ready to go tits up. And if that fails, well, then that will trigger what we would call a chaotic event. How does it feel to be living on the edge of chaos? How does it feel to be living on the edge of chaos in both the geopolitical arena and the financial arena? The world is a different complexion, has changed complexion since I was a young man. And I just sit here and I shake my head at the loss of morality. Of course, you know, what can I say? This has been going on a long time. It's just there's always been those who think or take the moral high ground, and then there's those who disregard it totally. There is no sacred viewpoint anymore towards anything. There is no sacred tradition. And the members of the Campfire Council know this, and I know it. Thunder knows it. And when you have a void in that area of sacred tradition and reverence and caring about other people and looking at them as family and giving and taking and understanding from a wisdom point of view, and from a wisdom keeper's point of view, the situation has gone to hell, really. it's gone to hell. Now, speaking as a shaman, I would say, looking at it from different realms, okay, different frequencies, different outside the box, with a shamanistic way of knowledge, it's an intensity and a game that is perceived as being totally unbalanced from an energy level, totally unbalanced. And this energy seems to be swirling all around us and takes on a monstrous effect here. And so the only way that we, as people that think in a reverential manner, those of the Campfire Council and others that are in sync with the way we think in a tribal and ancestral fashion, and in a living in tune with nature and the spirit that moves in all things. See, I told you it was getting darker. When you look at it from an indigenous perspective, let's say, and a shamanistic perspective, you really do realize that what these people are striving after is unattainable, really. It's unattainable. They seek supreme power, okay, and supreme power is only to be had or held by Grandfather Sky and Grandmother Earth. So all this maneuvering and geopolitical maneuvering and all of the stuff that's going on here isn't something that they're, the outcome isn't something that they're going to have. If anything, they're going to destroy humanity. They're going to destroy mankind. And so the only thing that we can do as spiritual warriors is to put out the vibe that that isn't going to happen, and that we will be in tune with that ultimate authority, which is Grandfather Sky and Grandmother Earth and the spirit of the four directions. I got my red bandana on today because I was thinking about my book Emergence, and in that book, the younger Thunder sees the older Thunder, and the older Thunder is the shaman with the red bandana. So thought I'd mention that, because here I am, and emergence is nigh. Well, since it's getting so dark, I guess I'll leave it there today. It's a good time to cut out, and I just want to say hello to everybody in the Campfire Council and all the new members, and I'll be in touch. Until then, this is Thunder. Adios.